it says I'm live. I believe I'm live here. According to the restream. Still technically. Okay, no, it's time. It's time to get started. Hello, everybody. My name is Zach Johnson. I am one of the instructors at Garnish Music here in Los Angeles, California. And this is my first live stream with you all. And I'm really looking forward to doing this with you. And thanks to Dave Garnish and the SF team for making this happen. And yeah, we'll be doing this at least once a week, at least for my portion of this class, which is called Flipping the Loop, which it's a work in progress, honestly, the title of this. But basically, what I'm going to be doing today is looking at some different loops and talking about how you can use loops from different resources, meaning anything from like Splice to maybe some loops that a friend gave you, and how you could use loops as an inspirational tool. Because to be honest, it sometimes it can feel like, I don't like using the word, but it's the only thing I could think of is like cheating, perhaps. Feeling like you're letting yourself down if you just throw in a drum loop and then maybe play a bass line behind it and then call it a day. And that might not feel that rewarding, and I totally understand that. But I just want to share my personal experience, like getting into even learning the digital audio workstation like Ableton, and that's my DAW of choice. When I was first starting out, it was very intimidating, and to really get going, to find some inspiration, I would imitate other people's music, and not as a form of plagiarizing, just to understand what was happening behind the drums, what was happening behind the mixes on the chords and the synthesizers that I was hearing. And I want to show you how you can, especially if you're just starting out, reach for inspiration and practice discipline. Because sometimes it can be hard to get inspired, or and to find that having those influences from music that you like, it's okay to study the greats, study the people that you like and you look up to. But I'm going to simplify this process. Like, look, I'm going to just randomly find some loops, and then I'm going to show you how I can build a song around a loop. And this is completely freestyled, meaning that I didn't rehearse this. Totally going to improvise here. So the beat that I'm going to make today, I only have 1 hour to do this. It's either going to be cool by the end of this, or it's going to be kind of whack. But that's the fun thing about this. That's the exciting part about this, is that something else you need, we all need to kind of break through the cycle of thinking that everything we make is has to be great, has to be amazing, has to be the best thing we've ever did. And with that philosophy, I try to practice quantity versus quality. And of course, you always want to end with the results of quality, or the end result meaning being of quality. But you have to make those quote unquote mistakes, or you have to make 10 bad examples to achieve that one good example. And so look, I'm going to be doing this every Tuesday, and I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to like all the beats that I make as we move forward, but there's going to be some moments where I'm going to be like, oh, this is awesome, I'm loving it. And of course, just because I don't like it, you might like it. And I'll try to explain when I say like I don't like something, or when I do like something. Art is subjective, right? So in a negative sense, I could just say like, oh, this beat's whack and I don't like it. But that's not productive, right? So I will try to dissect what I think at the end of each segment I need to work on, and maybe what I don't need to work on. And of course, I want this to be interactive, because right now we're streaming across Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, I think. I don't know. this is streaming, this is broadcasting all over the place. So I want to try to make this as interactive as possible. So I will be looking for feedback. I will be looking for comments, suggestions as I move on with these beats. I do have Twitch loaded up here on my iPhone, and so if you guys have any suggestions, and I think over time too, as this develops, I will be asking for loops from friends and loops from you all if you have some ideas that you started and you'd like to see how I would approach flipping your loop. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So if you're wondering, what kind of music am I going to make today? What is this flipping loop series about? Personally, I'm a huge fan of hip hop. Like, that's my bread and butter. I'm into all types of music. I love electronic music as well. But for me, with these loops, I'm going to have the mindset of going into the hip hop realm. So, with the subgenres of hip hop, who knows? I might make something that sounds like it was made in the 1990s, or I might make something sound a little bit more pop and more current sounding. I don't know, maybe something a little bit more experimental, but we'll see how today goes. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Let's dive into this. So, actually, real quick, I woke up this morning with a really exciting email. I just got the Ableton 11 test beta. So we're gonna nerd out for a moment here. For those of you who are familiar with Ableton, you know that Ableton 11, any day now, they're going to launch the full working version. I just got this today. I have not used it myself yet, and I figured, hey, why not? Let's do this live. It could be a disaster, but that's what makes us exciting when you go live. So, maybe you will get a kick out of this. But yeah, I'm gonna try Ableton 11 today. Beta version. Yeah. So now it's in beta because Ableton is still trying to work out the kinks. Of course, they don't recommend that if you're trying to make a project or make a song and you plan on saving it and are trying to rely on Ableton 11, they recommend you do not do that. I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to risk it all and try to make something using Ableton 11 today because I've been waiting for this to release. And if you're wondering how I got the Ableton 11 beta, anybody can sign up for this. It's not because I'm an instructor at Garnish or I have the exclusivity, to artist kind of rights to testing this out. No, anyone can sign up for it. And I know they do slowly roll out incrementally, a small group of individuals to test. I remember signing up for the beta test, like maybe 3 months ago, and I just got Ableton 11, this beta version, but I know some people have been using it for a while now. So if you want to give it a shot as well, for those of you who already currently own Ableton 10, you can sign up for the beta too. And you really are helping Ableton, the community and the team over at Ableton to test and look, if you find any bugs or if you find something not working correctly, send them a note. Be like, hey, there's something wrong with this. So it helps everybody, doing this beta test. All right. So first things first, before I get started, I need to make sure my preferences are set to output some multi-output device so you guys can hear what I'm going to be doing. All right. So first things first, I'm going to pick a random loop, okay? And, a lot of times you watch YouTube videos, people are prepared, they have all their stuff, they say they're freestyling, and then they have a list of loops ready to go. But I'm really going to try to keep this as authentic, if that's even the right word, as possible, meaning that I have no idea what loop I'm going to pick. And I'm going to use, yes, this is pretty dorky, but I do have a Magic 8 Ball. And I'm going to use this Magic 8 Ball to decide on what kind of loop. So I'm going to narrow this down. I'm going to say, Magic 8 Ball, should I use a drum loop or a piano loop? Let's give it a nice little shake. I forgot if you're supposed to even shake these. My 6-year-old self might slap me and tell me you're not supposed to do it like this, but I haven't had one of these in a really long time. I just got this. Don't ask me why. It was an impulse buy, okay? All right, let's flip it. What's it say? What? You guys aren't going to be able to see this, but it just gave me a crown symbol. I don't know what that means. Let's try it again. Okay, Magic 8 Ball. Should I flip a drum loop or a piano loop? Be all up on it. Okay, that's not helpful at all. I will decide. All right, so I'm just gonna pick a drum loop because I'm not. I think Magic 8 Ball is just telling me to just chill and be cool, man. Just do your thing. So, all right. Quick search on my computer. I will admit I have way too many samples. Command F to do an all results search. So I might have to narrow it down because I don't want to spend too much time trying to find a loop. Like, look, I only have an hour for this broadcast, so I gotta find a loop and then I gotta start making a song. So I'm gonna just type in drum loop. And yeah, again, let's just listen to a few of these and I'm gonna quickly the first one that I hear that I'm like, ooh, that's cool, I'm gonna go with it, okay? That's not a drum loop, all right? Okay, that's a Travis Barker loop. Oh yeah, by the way, Garnish has a Discord, so I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that, but you all can join, and if anyone, again, this is my first stream. I did test this prior to this class, of course, but if you give me feedback, if you think that maybe my microphone's too quiet or the samples that I'm playing are too loud, just feel free to chime in here. I like the swing on this one. It's kind of cool. Some boom bap. Okay, I like that. I'm feeling the vibe. I'm feeling the tempo. I don't know what the tempo is, but let's go ahead and load it up. Ableton does a pretty darn good job of telling you the tempo based off warp. Okay, so this is Ableton 11 now. What's going on here? This is a little bit different. I'm not used to this. So for those of you who are in 10, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the clip editor, the sample editor is laid out a little bit differently. It's telling me the original tempo is 105. So let's go ahead and type in 105. Let me just, I'm gonna just turn this down just a tad. Okay, let's turn the metronome on. No, that doesn't seem right at all. So let's fix that real quick. I'm just gonna warp from here. Okay, so let's go ahead and adjust this accordingly. Okay, so that's completely just false information. That's not right. So this is a good lesson for you all. So if you're wondering, wait a minute, how do you warp drum loops? Okay, how do you do it, Zach? So what I'm gonna do is, let's see here. I'm going to actually trying to find this loop that I had. Hold on a second. Sorry, 1 second, everybody. Which one was it? 4, right? Okay. So kind of the general rule of thumb here, when you're trying to warp something and you want to do it without the warp engine on, you need to do a little tap test. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and okay, so here's something else for you all to understand, is that sometimes, if you get a sample, don't necessarily, or the loop, sometimes it could be mislabeled. Not to say this one is mislabeled, but sometimes it'll tell you it's a certain key. Don't always completely rely on that. Or if it says it's a certain tempo, don't always rely on that. And biting my tongue here. I'm like saying that, oh yeah, Ableton's great at warping, which it usually is. I'm actually surprised that Ableton's like way off on this one. If you look closely up here, you can see that maybe I need to go full screen mode here. It's around 130 beats per minute. It's not 105.60, so not sure what happened there, Ableton, but you were off the mark just by a little bit. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and round this up. So I'm going to say, or 132. Let's just try that. I think that's probably a little bit safer. So let's go ahead and, yeah, okay. All right. So we're good now. So if you're wondering what I was doing, for those of you who might be brand new to using a digital audio workstation, I just quickly warped this track so it's glued, it's synced to Ableton's grid, and that way I can make sure that's not falling off beat, and you can use the metronome to listen back to make sure it's synced up correctly. All right, so I got my loop. I like to work in the arrangement view. If you haven't noticed that I quickly am just dragging this into the arrangement view. And I have this drum loop. Okay, so let's just listen to it real quick. Okay, so what am I listening to? What am I looking out for? I'm hearing some kick drums. I'm hearing some like claps / snares. I'm hearing some hi-hats. And I just like the natural swing of this. I like the vibe of it. It's cool. It's called TID Drum Loop 4. I have no idea where this came from, unfortunately. Um, Again, it could be from an Ableton sample pack. It could be from Splice. It could be a friend might have gave me this drum loop. I'm not sure. But anyways, maybe if you did a quick Google search, if you'd like a loop like this, TID drum loop number 4. Yeah. Okay. So looking for inspiration. Now, every week I'm going to do this a little bit differently. But today, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use this drum loop because again, I really like the rhythm of it. I'm going to use that as inspiration to write some chords. And when I write some chords, I'm going to be using the drum loop for the rhythm choices that I make as I write a chord progression. So anytime I start an idea, usually I'll narrow it down to maybe 4 bars, maybe 8 bars, maybe 16 bars. And by bars, I'm talking about measures. So right here you see this is the length total here is 8. And I have the tempo set to 132. That's cool. I might switch it up. Let's maybe, I don't know. And by default, I have if you're wondering what this is this is a piano. And this piano is from Spitfire Audio called Labs, which is free to use. You can actually download this VST for free. And honestly, even though it is free, like, you might think like, oh, wait a minute, what's the catch? Why is it free? It can't be that good, right? No, actually, this is one of my favorite pianos to use. It sounds so good, and it's from the company Spitfire themselves. Like, I can't stress this enough. Like their orchestral sounds, their cinematic sounds, their real world acoustic sounds, like, are really high quality in my opinion. And this lab series is kind of just snippets of all those sample packs and engines that they create, which do cost money, but the labs version itself is free, and they give you all these different instruments. Like, I want to say like every other month, maybe once a month, they will offer a new pack for you to download, anything from violins to cellos to scary string sounds. These trumpet fields are badass. They're super fun. I love using them. And this grand piano, not to say there's anything wrong with using the Ableton grand piano, but this lab one is just really, really nice. So it's like kind of my stock go-to piano. All right. So I'm not going to record in real time, meaning that I'm going to try to write some, play some piano to this drum loop. I'm going to pencil these notes in. And I'll tell you why. I grew up playing drums. I wouldn't say I'm like that crazy of a drummer, like I'm super talented or anything like that, but I do have a little bit of experience when it comes to rhythm. And the point I'm trying to make is I'm not the best piano player, believe it or not. Yes, teaching at Garnish, understanding some music theory principles is very important, and understanding the DAW. But the point I'm trying to make, I guess, is that look, if I can come up with some chords and make something sound cool, even if you have no training whatsoever when it comes to playing piano, you can still make some cool things here. So I should be I can vouch for that. So, and I'll show you. And in fact, looking at this Ableton 11 setup, one of the cool things I'm noticing is that they have this built-in scale function now. So prior to Ableton 11 and Ableton 10, yeah, if you go to MIDI effects, if you wanted to use this MIDI effect called scale, you could use it to kind of, especially if you're first learning, your scales, which I recommend that everyone at least gets the basic knowledge of the major and minor scales, because it's really beneficial. But you could previously use this scale function to say, hey, let's select to F sharp, major or minor, and then play some notes. Even if you don't know what you're playing, you could still output the correct notes. But what I'm noticing now is that they have this scale function. See, this is really cool because this will visually show you which notes are supposed to be in the scale. So right now I'm on C major, and that's like one of the first scales you learn if you were to take piano lessons. I've taken piano lessons, by the way. But anyways, C major scale is just a white key, so it's like one of the easiest to start with, and that's really cool. It's just a really cool function. So let's try this out actually. So I'm not gonna do major. I'm gonna do minor. So let's do minor. Let's see how well this works. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. It's kind of weird at first to me, but it's brand new, so let's give this a shot. So I'm gonna just draw in some notes here. I'm realizing I'm talking more than I'm actually outputting material here. So let's get to it, Zach. And I'm talking to myself in the third person now, so I'm losing my mind. Okay, let's just draw in some notes here. Let's see if make sure this even works. Okay, so I'm gonna just draw in some quick notes here. This is so cool. Okay, so this is how I like to start. I'll just start with the root note, the bass note, and then I will start penciling in some chords here. So to make some chords, I need to draw notes like so. This is crazy to me right now. For those of you who are used to Ableton or have been using Ableton, maybe some of you are on here right now and you're like a master Ableton and you're like, why is he penciling his notes in like that? Because you notice I'm using the cursor, I'm just double clicking to pencil in the notes, and some of you might be, I'm waiting for the comments, okay? I'm waiting for you, some people would be like, wait a minute, why aren't you just using the draw tool to just zip, adding these notes in? Well, honestly, for like the first couple of years of using Ableton, it's like these old habits that you don't really break. I'm just so comfortable using the cursor that I totally just ignore using the draw tool altogether. But the draw tool is very beneficial. So if you're just starting on Ableton, start using the pencil, the draw tool. If you don't want to be like me and and actually practice good habits. So here's my chord progression. Again, simple, just triads. Oh, I don't like that one. Hold on, sorry guys. Oh, so actually here's a good example of, so even though you have the scale function and it's telling you what correct notes to play, music, you're allowed to break the rules too. So go with your instincts sometimes. Like, sure, practice, you know, it's good to practice music in general, like practice scales. Learn an instrument. Please learn an instrument. It's really going to be beneficial. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make here is that sometimes, you know, I might break the rules where I don't necessarily play the right notes if it sounds cool to me. Let me give you an example. Let's see here. So this is telling me that, yeah. Okay, so this is G minor. Sorry, I just need to look at my keyboard. This is G minor, right? But if I shift this to A, this is technically A is not supposed to be in the key. And here, let me just play it like this. Yeah. So this is actually major, even though it's supposed to be minor. I think it'll sound cool. Let me loop this too. Oh, they switched things up in Ableton 11. What? Okay, loop. I mean, it's not that different, I guess, but... Okay. Yeah, so let's just... So sometimes that can sound cool, sometimes I cannot. In this case, I changed my mind again. So I'm going to go ahead and... do I actually want to even use this? Let's see here. G sharp, yeah. Okay, I will. I'm going to do some inversions too. Yeah, that's fine for now. Okay, so wait, let's get the root notes in. So I'm going to add the bass notes. Do some inversions. Once I get the root note in, I can, let's get this G up here. Oh, I realized why it sounded bad. Ugh, my bad, guys. I was playing the wrong notes. Okay, so wait, hold on a second. Hold on one second, G. Okay, I wanted to be on D. I knew that was wrong to begin with, and then let's do B. Okay. Yes, that's what I was hearing in my head. Okay. So this technically is not in the scale, it's not in the key. And I'm borrowing this chord from G major, even though, or yeah, G major, even though it should be minor. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some inversions. Okay, so again, this chord's pretty basic, let's be honest. Do I need these drums to write this chord progression in? No. But what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to listen to the rhythm of the drums, okay, as inspiration to make these chords a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this so I can actually kind of dissect and chop these up a little bit. So let's go ahead and... So I'm going to do something like bump, bump, bump. Actually, let's offset it. See what I'm doing here? So I'm looking at the kicks, and so I chop one here, stop, and then bring it back in. I could switch it up there too. I'll keep that there. But let's do this. Dun, dun. could switch this one up too. Make it. I'm not sure if I like that, but I'm gonna go with it for now. So let's just leave it alone. So again, using this drum loop for inspiration, but I'm gonna add a little bit more to this. So I'm just gonna play around with some notes here. Okay, so hold on a second. There is something cool going on in Ableton 11 that I honestly haven't tried yet myself. There's this randomize tool that I'm not even sure what it's supposed to do yet. Okay, so hold on. Command A to select all. I'm just gonna hit this and see what happens. Okay, something weird is happening down here. It looks like it's adjusted the velocity on some of these notes. What does this function do? Where's my helpful guide? Probability editor? What the F-bomb is happening here? Okay. Oh. Yeah, so you see the notes that are a little bit, like the shade of them is a little bit lighter. That looks like it's just the velocity, which is cool. I was hoping it would actually add maybe a little bit more swing to these notes. But here's the groove pool, which is, yes, I'm glad. Wait, hold on a second. Let's open this up. So one of the things I like to do to make my my piano sound a little bit more natural is, looks like there's a bunch of new grooves too. I'm going with it. It's done. It's happening. I have no idea what it's doing. Well, I know what it's doing. It's changing the velocity and the quantization based off 16 rhythmic subdivisions. And by the way, this is not anything new in Ableton 11. So any of you are wondering like, oh, I want this function in Ableton 10. Yes, the groove pool does exist. And if you don't know about it by now you do. And you should be using the groove pool or applying groove to your track as much as possible. Well, I take that back. Not as much as possible, but here's the dangerous thing about where's my commit button? I guess it just commits. About using a digital audio workstation is that, being a series of zeros and ones, quantization is like there to help you, but if it's too quantized, things can start to sound unnatural and robotic and stiff and rigid, which if that's what you're going for, great. If it's not though, if you want things to actually sound like they have a little bit of a human feel, yeah, you should probably apply a little bit of groove or try to play something in real time. Like I said, I'm not the best piano player. I'll admit it. I'm better on my ukulele than I am playing piano, and you can argue and say that ukulele is an easier instrument, but that's for another subject, another time. But basically the point I'm trying to make is if you're going to be drawing in notes, penciling in notes, you gotta be thinking about that too, like trying to add a little bit of natural swing, whether that's shifting the notes off the grid a little bit, okay, which it looks like my groove, it did do it. Oh, okay, that's okay, so there's the commit groove is right here now, so they switched it up. So if you look at my notes, they're not perfectly quantized, okay, so okay, so how can I switch this up now? Like, am I going to be sticking with piano? No, not necessarily. I will use these drums as inspiration, but now I'm going to turn them off. Okay. And here's my piano. In fact, if I really wanted to, something else I just realized, I could take the groove from these drums and then apply it to the piano. Why didn't I do that earlier? It's okay. But yeah, if you're wondering, you can right click. If you like the rhythm, if you like the natural swing of a loop that you're listening to, you could just right click on the clip itself and then scroll down to where it says extract groove, and you can use that to apply to your piano or whatever sounds that you're making. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these drums off now, and let's make a copy of this. Actually, I'm not done with this drum loop yet. I just realized something. Sorry, guys. So there's nothing on this one, but I'm going to use this for my bass. Stay organized by labeling your things here. So keys, bass, and again, the reason why I have the root notes here is because I'm going to be using those to apply some bass. So I'll turn those off by deactivating. A quick key command for you all, if you're not sure on how to do that, just hit 0 and you can deactivate your notes. And right now I'm just looking at the bass notes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just throw an 808 because, you know, this is hip hop. We got to have 808s. Now choosing an 808, that's a different story. I have too many, I will admit. Not so I don't waste time. Sorry guys. Where are these? I'm gonna play it safe just for today. I'm just gonna find my dogs. The day trip took it to 10. Shout out David and Dens. Hold on. Where's my smooth one? Okay, fine. I'm just going to use that for now. So I'm going to drop this into a simpler. Nothing looks different here. So far, why does it say MPE? I don't know. Okay, so make sure your basses are tuned too, guys. I can't stress that enough. Tuning your bass, maybe even switching to bass mono. Okay, so this is probably not going to sound great at first, but bear with me. You can barely even hear that sub, right? So I'm going to go ahead and bring it up an octave, and I need to make sure that these are cranked up. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, here's a quick trick for you, is have the rhythm of your bass follow the kick drums for now, and then I'm going to switch it up some more. So, oh, by the way, this bass is too long, rats. Okay, so hold on. Let's bring the sustain down and just bring the decay time up. Really? Hold on. Make sure your voice is set to 1, too. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Ooh. And I'm going to turn this one off. And then, yeah, bass right here on this kick. Right on the kick. This one. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just looking at where the kick drums are hitting. Although that's a snare. It's okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. And go. Like that. Okay. I'm gonna put one right here. So I'm gonna just mute my bass with my drums. Forget the piano for a moment. Okay, so there's my bass pattern. And again, it's just based off the rhythm of the kicks. And of course, you know, you notice that the rhythm of my keys is it's similar. I'm not completely copying the rhythm of the drums. I'm just using them as inspiration. I'm not a huge fan. Oh, this is neat. In the audio effects in Ableton 11, they actually consolidated and grouped these into categories, which finally Ableton. That's awesome that you did that. But where's my tuner now? There it is. Okay, let's just make sure this bass is in tune. Oh, they switched. Yeah, so it's a little sharp. I could hear it. And it's like, let's just detune this a little bit. Let's just try one more bass. I'm not in love with that. I want something short. Yeah, here we go. That's what I wanted. Okay, something short. And because my piano is going up here, I might take this bass and go clink. And I'm hearing something else. And of course, this has been looped, so I'm going to split this, Command E. I want to make this bass a little bit different than this one, and all I'm going to do to make this sound less loop-like, even though this is a looping class. Like Against the Clock or something. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that series from Fact Magazine. It's like, quick, make a beat, make a song. Like, I don't have a lot of time. Except with Against the Clock, I think they get like, what do they get? Oh, they only get 10 minutes. That's right. They only get 10 minutes. I have a whole hour, so I have no excuse. Okay, what? Hold on. This got screwed. Aha! You can see right here. Fix that. That happened here too. Yup. So again, I'm not doing anything crazy here, guys. I'm just trying to make this bass a little bit different. So all I did was bring this section up an octave. Big deal, right? But it's still enough, subtle enough where it feels less loop-like. Okay, so now let's turn this loop off. And Don't be afraid of the metronome. It's there to help you. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of that one. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do too? The piano. So this feels less loop-like. Get rid of. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of those keys. I'm just gonna extend these. But with the bass, I'm gonna keep that root note in there. Yeah, and then this time around, you're gonna hear that that G major come in. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's flip this. Let me try to make a quick little beat idea out of this. I don't have time. I'm running out of time. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna create a copy of these keys. So let me show you how you can just kind of sketch some ideas out real quick. So I'm gonna take these keys. I'm gonna go up an octave. And for fun, let's add some effects. Ableton, anything new? Anything new in 11? Maybe I'll just use some ones you guys are probably familiar with. Blah, 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 blah. Let's not spend too much time. Ooh, what's this one? Coarse Ensemble. Let's go higher. That's too, oops, that's too low. Command A, select all, shift, up arrow. Interesting. My first time using this effect. That is weird and fun, and I encourage weird, so do that. Whoa. This one's called Coarse Ensemble. It's a mixture of what I'm gathering, and I could be completely wrong, but it's a mixture of the standard Ableton chorus with like some weird pitch variation modulation going on at the same time. Interesting. That is weird. I like it. Okay, so here's my keys. But let's just add some layers here. So I'm gonna add a pad sound. Let's drop this in. See how I'm just recycling. Okay, recycling, guys. That's something you should look into. If you don't already do that, save the planet. But also recycling parts that you already have inside Ableton, because let's be honest, there's so many options and that can be intimidating. I'm gonna use I love the Arturia series, like the Lab 5 stuff. It's just so awesome. This is not free, by the way, but a little shameless self-promotion here. If you take classes at Garnish, we might be able to offer you some discounts on gear like this. Just, I don't know if Dave's gonna get mad at me. I'm probably not supposed to say that, but yeah, educational discounts if you look into furthering your education with music production. All right, I'm gonna just find a pad sound. What's this? What's this one? Okay, that's very bright. I'm just gonna use. I like it, but oh boy, Ableton. It's gonna take me a minute to get used to this. EQ filters. Okay, I'm gonna just throw a little auto filter on this. Oh, and let's go down an octave. That's way too high. That's the other problem. This bass has a lot of punch to it. So I'm going to use this drum loop. I know I said I wasn't going to use it anymore, but I'm going to switch it up. I'm actually going to sample it. I'm going to use it in a different way. And a quick suggestion you could do to just completely switch it up, throw reverse on it. But you're like, well, Zach, that doesn't sound rhythmically pleasing anymore. So what you can do is just chop it up and try to make it work. Blah, 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 blah. Or, actually, hold on. I've got another idea. Yeah, I'm going to start it like that. No, I lied. I'm joking. I'm not going to reverse it. See, this is the thing. You got to try ideas. And you might feel confident going into it. And you might be like, oh yeah, this is definitely going to work. And then your ego gets put in check. And then you realize maybe that's not the move. But I do want to use this drum loop. So, I have an idea. Let's do this. Let's double time it. You might be like, dude, what are you doing? That's not going to work. But hold on. Bear with me. I have another idea. Use this vocoder tool, and I could play around with the gate. I'm going to change the bands here. I'm going to just turn it to percussion. Let's go to beats mode and mess with it. This is one of my favorite things to do. For any of you who've taken lessons with me, you see me using this one a lot. So you can preserve just an eighth of the transients. So I wanted to use this loop some way. You know, I want it to be part of my production. And now, but let me quickly write some drums. So I'm gonna write some hip hop drums, guys, because I only have a few minutes, so I gotta get something going here. So I'm gonna just go to my quick arsenal of tracks. I like to start with hats. Let's get rid of the scale mode. Goodbye. I like to start with hi-hats, and yeah, so here's a good example of using just the draw tool, because I can go blah, 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 like that. But if I don't want to do 16th notes, I want to do 8th notes. Oh, jeez. Sorry. What is happening here? I gotta calm down. And I can just go bloop, bloop. Oh, stop that. Like that. I could switch to 16th notes. Nothing to get too excited about. And then switch to 132 notes. Yeah, there we go. Again, see how they're so rigid? Apply a groove to them. Oh boy, I have less than 10 minutes. I know I keep saying that. I need to stop paying attention to that. But if I don't pay attention to that, then I'll just keep going. Okay, I'm just going to I use this clap way too much, I'll admit. But just to get ideas going, remember, nothing is set in stone until you decide to release the song to the public. You know, nothing is finalized. So a lot of times I call this like placeholder drums, you know, just to get an idea going, especially if I'm working with an artist like a rapper or singer. Like, they don't want to hear you tinkering around with the sound design for 3 hours. Like, well, if they're cool, they will for experimentation purposes. But if you're like in a session, you know, because I also do sessions at this studio called Sound Factory, and time is money, money is time. People pay a lot to book studio sessions, so you can't be tinkering around with drums and stuff. You gotta like get to the point. Okay, so now this is tripping me up a little bit. I'm gonna turn this down. And I'm gonna turn my bass off just for a moment. See, now that I'm switching up the rhythm of the drums a little bit, I might have to go back to the bass and switch that up. So actually, I don't mind it as much. It's a little rigid, it's a little fast, but I'm not going to worry too much about this because I can always work on it later. But let me just leave you with one last thing, okay? So I might start an idea like this, and then let's like just copy it over, Shift Command V, and I might do something like this where I take the bass out in the beginning. So it's just like this section. Maybe I'll even start it with just. Okay, and then I resample it. And resampling in Ableton is one of my favorite things to do. In fact, anyone who uses Ableton and they've discovered resampling, I think it's safe to say this is probably one of the coolest features in Ableton, because I can quickly just record out my ideas. So talk about flipping a loop. How about flipping your own loop? And I do this a lot. So sometimes I'll do like 3 or 4 iterations of my own sampling, of my own loops, of other people's loops, and then remix it myself a few times until I make something that I like. So check this out. I'm just recording it. Create another audio track, drop this down here, get rid of the resampling, put this in a group, call it my old idea, and then do something completely different with this. So what do I mean? Let's boost the tempo up to 160 beats per minute. And then maybe let's transpose it up. Let's transpose it up like 5, 6 semitones. See, this is already starting to sound fun again. And then throw a halftime on it. Or switch it up so it's triplets. I don't know what's happening there, but let's maybe throw a random, just trying to throw ideas at you guys because I only have 2 minutes. But one last thing, yeah, maybe throw a guitar rig on it, even though guitar rig, people use this for like, they think of it just using it on a synthesizer or guitar or piano or whatever, but put it on your entire sample and like, look, I'm just going to randomly grab something and listen to it for fun. Let's try another one. Again, okay, at the end of the day, Magic 8 Ball, did you like this beat that I made? Be all, what does it say? Oh, I can't even read this. Be all up on it. I think that was the last thing it said to me, right? No? Okay, so I guess Magic 8 Ball says, yeah, be up all on it. So I think that's, yeah, I think this was all right. This was okay, okay beat. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope maybe you learned something today. Um, and yeah, thanks for tuning in. So flipping loops, I'll be every week kind of trying different approaches, trying different things. So I hope to see you again next Tuesday at this time. It's 11 a.m. PST or PST, PS Pacific Coast time. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. So I need to shut this down. I need to stop the streaming. And okay, toodaloo, peace out.